right at the top of the hour. News Tonight at 10 is here. My name is Patricia Lukoma, and in a short while, Mugalu Mohammed will be joining us.
And I'm Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma.
First though, the headlines. In our top stories, a disbanded cooperative bank client demands 3 billion Ugandan shillings in compensation.
Tanzania and Uganda Business Summit in the spotlight.
And then the UK Parliament suspension sparks backlash.
And in sports, boxing prodigy Masembe wins All Africa Games silver medal. Hello there and welcome once again, and let's get started. Japanese businessmen under their high-level business federation, the Kaidenren, have expressed their interest to partner with Uganda companies and government and invest in agro-processing, construction, solar panel production, transportation, and in medical equipment. The businessmen, led by Katsuo Nagasaka, the chairman committee on Sub-Saharan Africa of the Kaidenren, met President Yoweri Museveni during a courtesy call at the Intercontinental Yokohama Grand Hotel at the sidelines of the TICAD 7 conference. Now, he said they want to collaborate with Ugandan businessmen and scientists.
Nagasaka said they have established a factory making solar pumps for agriculture production, employing former veterans at their factory in Uganda. President Yoweri Museveni said that the atmosphere in Uganda is good for business, and he encouraged investors in solar projects to exploit this opportunity. He called on the companies interested in fighting malaria to work with Ugandan scientists in order to develop bacteria for larvicide and insecticide for indoor residue spraying.
Meanwhile, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has called on the Japanese private sector to partner with Uganda and commercialize banana flour production, in saying this will promote food security for humanity. The president was meeting Dr. Shinichi Kitaoka, the president of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, and delegation at Intercontinental Yokohama Grand Hotel.
Now, the Foreign Affairs Minister Sam Kutesa, Minister of State for Works General Katumba Wamala, and Uganda's ambassador to Japan, Betty Akulo Akech, also attended the meeting held at the sidelines of the 7th International Conference on Africa Development, TICAD. The president said investors in agro-processing can exploit the great potential that Africa offers with easy access to markets in the Middle East, Europe, Japan, and China.
Now, Dr. Shinichi Kataoka hailed Uganda for assisting refugees from South Sudan. He said his organization is focusing on working with refugees on mental health and nutrition.
Now, officials from Bank of Uganda have failed to give a clear account to the committee on the liquidation process of Cooperative Bank.
Now, the Governor, Bank of Uganda, Emmanuel Mutebile, while appearing before the Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, asked for more time to respond to allegations made by businessman Chris Tushabe.
Bank of Uganda officials and Governor Emmanuel Mutebile have appeared before the Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authority and State Enterprises to respond to allegations raised by one Tushabe. Last week, businessman Chris Tushabe accused the several officials at Bank of Uganda of failing him to access his bank account details at Cooperative Bank after its closure. Chris Tushabe told the committee that former Executive Director Banking Supervision Justin Bajenda and Bernard Sekabira, Director Financial Market, sold off his property, although he owed no loans to the Cooperative Bank.
Bank of Uganda claimed that they sold my properties 2007 up to 2013. They were selling the same Bank of Uganda. So please, if you can allow me to go beyond, I'm not here that I want my money only.
He also told the committee that even after President Yoweri Museveni issued a directive in 1999 to have all clients of Cooperative Bank paid off, he has never been paid.
The President had directed that all depositors of Cooperative Bank be paid all their money in full. Bank of Uganda still finds questionable technicalities and distorts facts to override the President's directive, instead of facing of coming out clearly and paying me my money.
Tushabe further claims that demanding for his money has put his life at risk. He accuses Bank of Uganda of coercing him into selling his prime property at Nakasero. Tushabe is now seeking 3 billion which he held on his account at an interest rate of 25% as of 19th May 1999. He also seeks 600 million which he paid in as bank draft.
I discovered that the bank account card had been doctored as it contained several anomalies. In the ensuing events, I survived a number of assassination attempts.
In response, the central bank denied Tushabe's allegations. Margaret Kasule, the director legal affairs at Bank of Uganda, told the committee that Tushabe's claims are subject to court proceedings.
Some of the claims raised have been the subject of court proceedings, and the presentation that we have made today is in relation to those that have been the subject of court proceedings and are still the subject of court proceedings.
Earlier on, the governor, Emmanuel Mutebile, declined to speak to the committee, claiming he wasn't prepared, compelling the committee to put him on oath.
Nobody is going to testify on your behalf, sir. You are the governor, Bank of Uganda. Nobody is going to testify on your behalf. There are some, because there are even questions we want to put to you.
Mutebile later asked the committee to grant him and his team a fortnight to provide the required information.
What he has said touches on matters that are not directly relevant,
yes, sir,
to this.
Yes, sir.
And I think it will be a waste of time,
yes, sir,
to be going into this right now.
Yes, sir.
And therefore I would request,
yes, sir,
permission,
yes, sir,
that I don't answer this now.
Yes, sir. Said that he is not prepared today. No, if he has requested for more time, you can't tell him that please you answer now. I don't think here we handle.
Officials from the central bank were then given 2 weeks to provide documented evidence of Tushabe's claims. Susan Naong and Gloria Gwitabinji reporting for UBC News.
You can imagine the
Yes, of course, and it's like he was gotten unawares there. But of course, he has been granted 2 weeks, and we await that time when he'll come back ready to give the information that the Kosase team needs.
In other news, Uganda Airlines commercial flights have entered the second day with the third inaugural flight to Mogadishu, Somalia.
Now, the airline received a warm welcome, with Somali government describing it a boost to their social-economic development, as we hear in this report.
It's 8:28 a.m. East African Standard Time, and the crews of an inaugural Uganda Airlines flight to Somalia have just touched down at Aden Abdullah International Airport in Mogadishu. At the Aden Abdullah International Airport, the Ugandan Sierra J900 jetliner was welcomed with a symbolic water cannon salute. The maiden voyage from Kampala to Mogadishu makes Uganda's airliner the latest carrier to boost Somalia's economic recovery, with 6 weekly flights.
We'll be flying into Mogadishu 4 times a week, every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're expecting 2 more Sierra J900 in the mid-October 2019, and once we have the aircraft delivered into our fleet, then we will increase our flights to Mogadishu to 6 times a week.
To the Somali government, the launch of Uganda Airlines direct flights consolidates Uganda's efforts to promote regional peace, trade, and integration.
We have many passengers who will go through here and who will fly everywhere in the world, but couldn't go to a direct flights and had to suffer in a transit for many hours in many cities. So for that, we are very grateful that Uganda Air took the initiative to join the international fleets who are coming here, and that's something that will impact our travel overseas.
The pleasant development, according to the Ugandan ambassador to Somalia, Professor Sam Muhika, and the commander UPDF AMISOM contingent, Brigadier General Michael Kabanko, is a fruit of a hard-earned peace and a statement of peace that will see the war-torn country realize its dream of reviving its national airliner.
We look forward to a time when Somalia will be sufficiently stabilized and sufficiently economically recovered to revive Somalia Air, just as we have done with Uganda Airlines.
But also very important, this is a statement. This is to confirm by those who know the security situation better in Somalia that Somalia is ready for business and peace. There is no turning back.
Aden Abdullah International Airport, located in the Somali's seaside capital Mogadishu, is recording a sharp increase in the travelers, with major airlines like Turkish and Qatar all plying the route thanks to the relative calm that has returned to the city and other parts of the country. This Friday, the airliner will commence commercial flights to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Bernard Yiga, UBC TV, Mogadishu, Somalia.
Uganda Airlines in business.
Oh yes, we are in business there. Now, the Jinja West Member of Parliament Moses Grace Balieku has been tasked to explain the forgery of mints and the application from the Area Land Committee that gave a leeway to the fraudulent titling of plot 24B Chabazinga Way Nalufenya in Jinja Municipality.
Now, Balieku was appearing before the land inquiry on alleged connivance with a 28-year-old Indian investor known as J. Patel Maganal to grab 11 acres belonging to the municipal council.
Moses Grace Balieku.
The land inquiry sitting at the National Archives and Records Center has grilled Jinja West Member of Parliament Moses Balieku on allegations of influencing the forgery of minutes to hoodwink members of the Jinja District Land Board. The chairperson, Jinja District Land Board, Innocent Ngowindiko, while appearing before the commission, asked for the investigation of the signature on the application from the District Land Board.
And this is the report of somebody who compared the signatures of the chairperson of the land board with on many documents. The question signature and writing in Exhibit A is fundamentally different from the sample signatures provided in Exhibit BF. They are different in internal proportion of initial letter N, like, and D, like connectivity of strokes, relative sizes of character and external proportion of strokes, pen movement and direction of letter O.
Members of the District Land Board had decided to give the alleged investor a freehold title in guise of investment.
So isn't it ironical that a leader like yourself, who is boasting of promoting investment for the good of the people in Jinja, is promoting issuance of a title to a one Patel and not necessarily to leave the land where it was for the benefit of the district?
MP Balieku is said to have pioneered the fraud surrounding plot 24B Chabazinga Way because the subdivisions and titles made out of plot 24B were cancelled by the Commissioner Land Registration.
Made that you gave Wise for money to take to the chairperson. And Wise said, why should I give the chairperson money when I can actually do everything? We can do everything here. These things have been said about you. Now you need to come clean with them. Because this is the thing about impunity. It does not care about formality. Impunity permeates everywhere.
Never paid anybody in this transaction.
Balyeku met with the Jinja town clerk at his home to discuss how members of Jinja District Land Board can be lobbied to give land to the investor.
That some of those meetings that happened at your house were not those random meetings where people come to your house, but they were invited. For example,
there are things I can't influence, there are things I can influence.
The chairperson of the District Land Board was warned by one member that Honorable Balyeku is not one of those people you play around with in Jinja. He can bring you down. You got to do what he says you should do. The RDC was told Honorable Balyeku can cause your transfer.
Information available to the commission shows that J. Patel Magnal paid 6 billion shillings and 2 billion shillings was given to Balyeku to compensate claimants on the contested land.
Are you pursuing the interest of the everyday person in Jinja, or are you pursuing the interest of a one Magnalal Patel with whom you have a deal?
This land, Patel cannot sleep in that land as his personal interest. He's a businessman, he will make money.
And what kind of leadership is this?
Section 77 of the Registration of Title Act states that any certificate issued out of fraud is subject to cancellation, but Balyeku is in plans of suing the Attorney General. The action of Moses Grace Balyeku was also against Section 12A of the Amendment Act of 2017 because he influenced matters of Chabazinga way for his own interest and violated the leadership code.
And when I was listening to you today, I see a member of parliament, a political leader influencing the processes of the municipal council, the process of the district land board, the processes of...
That is truly influencing, peddling, but quickly into the land committees. The newly elected members of division, urban councils, area land committees have been sworn in.
Now the members are charged with the responsibility of handling applications for land acquisition, resolving land disputes and verifying compensation claims in their respective areas.
Kampala's divisions now have in place new members of the area land committees to handle land-related matters. Kampala has 5 divisions, which include Kampala Central Division, Nakawa, Machinde, Kawempe and Lubaga. Each of the divisions has 5 committee members nominated by the Division Council and approved by Kampala Capital City Authority.
I say that to propose, swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the purpose of Uganda and that I will preserve and protect and defend the Constitution. So help me God.
The members will handle land acquisition, resolve land disputes, and verify compensation claims. The Lord Mayor, Erias Lukwago, appealed to the members to handle land matters in Kampala carefully.
And it's causing us challenges, and it's one of the issues causing a lot of litigation in the courts, resulting into huge and exorbitant legal costs. So we want that to be addressed, and also misallocation of land, allocation of wetlands, common user land like markets, schools, hospitals, and whatnot. We want all that protected. So these are trustees, they must protect our land.
The chairperson Kampala District Land Board, Yusuf Nsibambi, hopes that the appointed members will ease the work of the land board. Adiana Kute, UBC.
Yes, it's that time when we call for a short break, but we'll be returning with much more news. Stay with us.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Welcome to the first ever Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum and Exhibition taking place on the 4th and the 5th of September 2019 at the Julius Nyerere International Convention Center in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Come and explore new business and investment opportunities. Come and participate in open preliminary discussions on finance, bilateral trade, infrastructure, extractives and their challenges before the heads of state, government ministers and policy makers, as well as showcasing your products and services at the business exhibition. Registration is now open. Log on to www.businessforum.biz today and register to participate in the 2019 Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum. Call us on 752-470-214 Uganda, and for Tanzania 784-323-068. The Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum is organized by and is proudly sponsored by.
Have you completed Senior 4 or Senior 6 and you want to do a 2-year certificate or a diploma course? Makerere Institute for Social Development, an affiliate to Makerere Business School, offers programs in accounting and finance, business administration, procurement and supplies management, social work and social administration, information technology, counseling and guidance, human resource, project planning and management, journalism, secretarial studies, and many others. We are located on Apollo Kegwa Road next to Oilcom Petrol Station with a UBTEP Center number.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pain Arena. Introducing on the right corner, Mr. Action, the reigning heavyweight champion in the ring against
the Headache, the #1 contender. And the bell rings.
Headache charges forward with a steady right and a left hook. Action dodges. He misses out with an inch. Wait a minute. Mr. Action launches back with a kick. The final blow. He is out.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Welcome back from that short break, and you are watching News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us, and Patricia Lukoma will be returning shortly with business news and international news plus sports. But let's move on now, where born-again pastors have appealed to government to drop the controversial National Religious and Faith-Based Organization Policy 2019. In a closed-door meeting at Namirembe Christian Fellowship Church in Kampala, attended the pastors agreed to seek legal redress if the policy becomes law.
It's now almost a year since government proposed the National Religious and Faith-Based Organization Policy 2019. Government wanted to start issuing licenses to faith-based organizations, regulate their activity and monitor, among others, as a move of restoring the norms and customs of the mission. But pastors believe the policy contravenes the provisions of the Constitution.
But to our surprise, when the validation exercise came, all our recommendations, not one of them was considered. And now we are here to discuss and see how to stop this happening.
The government should organize themselves. The existing laws are sufficient. It's only the organs of the government which are not doing their duties. If they tell you something has committed a crime, nobody is above the law. Go and arrest. Execute your duties as you're supposed to do. We don't need another law because the other law is still not going to move you.
In a closed-door meeting at Namirembe Christian Fellowship Church in Kampala, Professor Simeoni Kaiwa and Dr. Bishop David Chiganda singled out one of the provisions of the policy of a district RFBO committee chaired by the RDC.
The Constitution has said that the government should not in any way establish laws that will limit freedom of worship, freedom of ABC. But it looks like now they are trying to go to even a higher level of limiting and fighting freedom of faith.
Naye mu Uganda tewakyaliyo omusango gw'osobola kukola obutali provided for in the constitution of Uganda. Tebuliyo.
The legal fraternity says the policy intends to infringe on the freedoms of Ugandans.
To our simple analysis, the policy intends to erode our freedom of worship. When we see the history of Uganda, we've ever been through what is trying to be brought back to us. During Amini's regime, we were not allowed to worship freely. We had a state religion by then. If you tell us to be regulated by government, you bring political appointees to begin regulating spiritual matters. You give us CDOs. A CDO can even be a drunkard. A drunkard cannot tell me how to worship my God. I cannot tell the Spirit of God like this is how you should flow, this is how you should limit yourself because the government tells me to stop here.
They further advised that some provisions of the policy also contradicts with Article 7, Clause 29, which provides that Uganda shall not have a state of religion and provide for freedom of religion, association and opinion. In the policy, government will also have the mandate to approve or disapprove religion.
Now let's turn our attention to matters pertaining to environmental protection, where Ugandans have been urged to develop a culture of sustainable waste management at all levels to prevent environmental degradation. The Director, Environmental Monitoring and Compliance at the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, Waiswa Ayazika, echoes this in the wake of slow implementation of plastic carrier ban.
When Parliament passed the National Environment Act of 2019, it sought to replace and reform the law relating to environment management in Uganda. One of the issues of focus was waste management and the country's stand on polythene carrier bags.
The National Environment Act sets 30 microns, okay, as the basic minimum for enforcement of Kavera. The Act is 2 months old, and therefore the issue now at hand is how much have we done in terms of enforcing the provision of the law.
Kenya, which actively participated in the conference, enacted a law to relieve Uganda's sovereign neighbor of polythene bags. So, is there a lesson or two that Uganda can learn from Kenya in implementing the ban on Kavera?
We realized that these plastic bags, what you popularly call Kavera in the Uganda, are very difficult to degrade. And therefore we thought it as a policy, and we brought a bill to the National Assembly of Kenya, and it was successfully passed to ban the use of plastic bags.
This matter was debated within our parliament, and our parliament took a decision that we start with 30 microns. Probably it's after we have implemented and enforced that, depending on the outcome of that, that may be other options may be looked at. Right now, we have no other option than enforcing what is within the law.
Implementation of the ban on polythene carrier bags in Uganda has been slow. This is an indication of a wanting process that requires new approaches in management of all waste.
And we have to start to think that according to a globally accepted approach, waste can be a resource. In waste we have a lot of resources. From the organic waste we can attain biogas, we can attain fuel, we can attain new materials. From electronic waste we can have metals, we can have rare and pure elements and so on.
The 7th Annual Eastern Africa Waste Management Conference was organized by Sanitation and Environmental Consult and hosted by National Environment Management Authority, NEMA. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Now, Makerere University has launched an Environmental Development Initiative Center to address environment-related challenges in the country. The Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Finance, Professor Omar Kakumba, says this relates to the government investment in research for the development of the country.
Human activities has exposed the environment to degradation, leaving it bare and vulnerable. To mitigate the effects of environment degradation, Makerere University has established the Environment for Development Initiative Center to train, research and engage policy in environment, economics and development in Uganda.
Seasons have shifted. The growing seasons that we knew when we were younger are no longer tallying with the months where we used to grow and harvest crops. It is a clear indication that environmental degradation has caused this climate change. And as a result, we needed to engage in research into all those issues to come up with innovative approaches that we can use to solve these problems.
The Deputy Vice Chancellor of Finance, Professor Edward Kakumba, says the initiative underscores the importance of funding research by the government for finding development solutions.
Looking at the center as a hub, as we have said, a hub that can provide innovative and simple solutions to community, improving livelihoods, improving agricultural practices, improving healthcare, improving household incomes, and the general welfare and the general common good of people in our country.
Kagwa Ronald of National Planning Authority urged for fiscal environment policy review for effective environment management.
We have failed to invest in the sustainability of the natural resource, to create income for our people, create employment for our people. So how do we, keep these resources while generating incomes that sustain our people?
Makerere Environment for Development Initiative Center will bridge the research policy gap in areas of climate change, energy, food, forestry and sustainable development. Abdul Nasiri Luwama for UBC News.
Now, poor menstrual knowledge and hygiene is a major contributor to school dropout and absenteeism among adolescent girls in primary schools. Now, the situation is fueled by stigma and lack of sanitary materials by girls from low-income settings. Adiana Kuti reports.
Adolescence comes with biological changes, including menstruation in girls, which may start as early as 9 years. Most of the adolescent girls start menstruation while in primary school. Managing the biological change of menstruation presents a substantial challenge to girls, especially those from low-income families. This therefore requires that adolescents are given menstrual knowledge to reduce on stigma, but also proper management.
Most of the parents do not tell us about the challenges that some of the girls face. I think they fear, because in most cases you grow up when you've never gotten any chance of sitting with your parent telling you something that this is how girls are, this is what you face when you grow.
There was a girl at school who has ever passed through it, but she felt shy because it passed and she was ashamed, and the boys started laughing. Then she went out of school because of that.
A study conducted by UNICEF in 2014 shows that 3 out of every 5 adolescent girls know nothing about menstruation until they start their first period, an issue that creates discomfort and affects the girls' ability to enjoy the learning process.
Girls miss school. When you visit our registers, you will find a particular time of every month when child X, girl X, misses class, girl Y misses class. And of course, as mature people, as administrators, as school administrators, we know the reason why.
Another study conducted by Makerere University-based AfriChild Center on menstrual hygiene in primary schools shows that most pupils miss school due to lack of sanitary materials.
Many of these children are dropping out of school. It actually accounts for about 40% of absenteeism of girls at primary school level. So it's a critical issue, it's a challenge. Also because many of these girls, unfortunately, because the subject of menstrual hygiene is seen as a taboo issue, it is not discussed. Parents are not discussing this with their girls.
A pack of sanitary pads containing 7 to 8 pieces costs between 3,500 to 4,000 shillings, implying that on average, a girl needs to spend about 7,000 to 8,000 shillings monthly to manage her menstrual cycle. Given the importance of proper menstrual management in the learning process and retaining girls in school, the NRM government hinted on the idea of supplying sanitary towels to schools.
That the government should rather invest its effort and energy in providing at least sensitization on how these girls can use local material to develop pads, especially a situation where they say they are unable to provide pads for each and every girl in this country.
Now we go to Bushenyi, where residents of Bushenyi Ishaka municipality have petitioned government seeking to bail out the municipality over money amounting to over 3 billion shillings owed to a one Muhomuza. Now the residents carried placards and walked 9 kilometers from Kabagarame Pork Joint Market, one of the contested places where people are to be evicted. Now, Bushenyi Ishaka municipality is having land cases with the family of Muhomuza over Ishaka taxi park land, which the municipality lost. Now, Ishaka municipality appealed twice against court decision that is in High Court at Imbarara and later to Court of Appeal, where it also lost.
Omwanya turwanda hasi n'amizi turugwisha korachi. We shall fight in air, on land and on sea, but we will never surrender. No retreat, you know what? Echo nyenda kukibahameza muturu kubasa ku ruzingo rutaroru abo kubayipahika twazireki twasingwire.
On to Chegegwa district now, and of course this is rather some sad news from there, where residents of Kihamba Parish, Kabweza sub-county in Chegegwa district are in shock following the murder of a motorcycle rider. The body of Stephen Mujuni was found dumped near the swamp along Chegegwa Kazo Road. Now the 23-year-old resident of Rubona in Chegegwa district was murdered and his motorcycle stolen. Kijuma village LC1 chairperson Rosemary Tivenda reported to police. Police took the body to Chegegwa Hospital mortuary.
Mnaibiri na kichweka n'abandi mukayange haijo mwoto nairuka ngo omusajja wagule enkoko karugudu yabagambira kidera hafiro omuntu bamwisire kati nanye kinkora njwalira nkati amani kanjendo maza sirika defense gendo yetegereza orole mazimako defense antera ngo nabana tunatemba kamotoka kakanyista kanyankoli antera ngo omuntu afire
finyemo kikanga bakumacha kuno basa omufuka wafe wa boda gwe bayita Stephen adavuga piki UER 410 esembyayo D byaba byeko piki yatuyambe tugisubira okubanga ekutte bukubo erigenda esemba bule Masaka yantu.
Very, very sad news there from Chegegwa, and of course these matters still taking place. We do implore the police to actually work alongside the local residents to identify the wrong elements within our society. We'll now take another short break. Patricia Lukoma will be returning with what's happening in the world of business, international news and sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pain Arena. Introducing on the right corner, Mr. Action, the reigning heavyweight champion in the ring against
the Headache, the #1 contender. And the bell rings.
Headache charges forward with a steady right and a left hook. Action dodges. He misses out with an inch. Wait a minute. Mr. Action launches back with a kick. The final blow. He is out.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Displays that will leave you enthralled. Make a date with us during the first Sunday of every month. With over 2,000 participants at one venue, we aim to keep healthy, network, ensure viable brand positioning, and make friends while having fun during our monthly sports festival.
Ladies, gentlemen, and well-wishers, Obukama Watoro is organizing a fundraising dinner on Sunday 1st September 2019 at the Kampala Serena Hotel starting at 5 p.m. The dinner will focus on fundraising for the Save River Mpanga as well as construction and development of the Toro Digital Museum project in Fort Portal. Purchase your tickets for only 250,000 Uganda shillings or simply reserve a table for as low as 3 million Uganda shillings. The dinner will be graced by His Majesty the King of Toro. Your attendance, donations, and support will be highly appreciated.
Past 10 o'clock. It's time for us to mean business, and of course, starting with that bilateral, business relationship between Tanzania and Uganda. The inaugural Uganda-Tanzania Business Summit is expected to shape the trade and business relationship between the two countries. Now, the 4th to 6th of September 2019 forum in Dar es Salaam will bring together business leaders, policy makers, and other stakeholders to explore trade and business opportunities, as Dennis Sigwa reports.
Uganda and Tanzania's bilateral ties date back to the mid-20th century. Although there was a period of tension in the 70s and 80s, the matter was amicably resolved. With the discovery of oil and gas resources in Uganda and the decision to export crude oil from Uganda to the global market through the port of Tanga in Tanzania using the pipeline, the two EAC member countries are forging a stronger and more resilient partnership.
Instead of waiting for 3-4 years, you can execute it at a shorter time. We need this project now.
Since we reopened these routes in July 2018, it is encouraging to note there is growing interest among different stakeholders to transport their cargoes going to Uganda and other destinations. On the railway sector, apart from the current railway lines, Tanzania is building the standard gauge railway from Dar es Salaam to Mwanza, which will reduce time and cost of transportation cargo to Uganda.
In the last decade, there have been increased efforts geared at laying ground for the efficient trade relations between Uganda and Tanzania. For instance, President Museveni and his counterpart John Magufuli Pombe of Tanzania graced the opening of the one-stop border posts at the border town of Mutukula in November 2017.
People say we are facilitating trade, but they forget to add on that actually we are facilitating prosperity of the people, because trade is not an end in itself. It is a means to prosperity.
Amepungua vitendo vya rushwa ambavyo zamani watu walikuwa wanalazimika kutumia mbinu za rushwa kwa ajili ya kuvuka, lakini pia fedha zote zinazokusanywa kuingia kwenye mfuko wa serikali badala ya siku za nyuma inawezekana zilikuwa zinaingia kwenye mifuko ya watu wengine.
The volume of trade between Uganda and Tanzania has increased over the years, with the value of Uganda's exports to Tanzania estimated at over $70 million, just over 258 billion Ugandan shillings per annum. This is projected to increase exponentially in the coming years. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Now, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development has held the annual Integrated Financial Management Systems Workshop in a bid to improve government's expenditure habits, along with consolidated and effective management plan for government assets, as Arnold Wadulo reports.
Oftentimes, various ministries and government bodies lack accountability for both cash and assets that they own. a risk that undermines the credibility of national resource utilization.
In the number of ministries, they don't know even the vehicles they have. If it already me, put up your hand. We don't know even how many vehicles we have, how many are operating, and where they are. And unfortunately, we are breaking the law.
As a result, government adopted the Integrated Financial Management System in 2003 to optimize government expenditure. However, its adoption has been slow and has since faced numerous challenges.
Now, the other aspect that is coming in, this electronic LPO, Accountant General hinted on this. What are we trying to cure? Currently, we have two things happening. If an LPO is generated, it may not even be generated for a long time, and the accusations have been at head of procurement. For some reason, it stays there for a very long time. Probably they are doing due diligence. But even after clicking that button, the LPO is printed. After printing, then the signatures become a problem. So what we are trying to do is to replace the hard copy LPO with an electronic LPO, which is transmitted by email to the supplier.
Finance Ministry officials were also concerned about the alarming rates of unscrupulous fund reallocation.
By the way, I should also say that mischarges are not necessarily in a wrong way. That one I should emphasize. But for us, what we are saying is that if the budget intentions are to do this activity, then do that activity. Even though you can divert the money, but you do it on a genuine activity, I should say.
Besides focusing on proper management of government assets, this year's IFMS review meeting also highlights the need for increased tech adoption, especially when it comes to e-cash transactions. It is projected that this will help government eliminate the non-efficient modes of payment. Reporting for UBC, Wadulo Mark Arnold in Kampala.
Thank you, Mark Arnold. It's time for us to look at how the financial markets are faring as we start with the forex markets to see how the shilling is faring against the greenback.
The long line hassle. With 1xBet, the power of placing the perfect bet is at your fingertips. Bet anytime from anywhere. Best of all, payment is instant. Place your bet on whatever you choose. Virtual games, bet games, sports, and even live betting. Winning has never been this simple. Bet with 1xBet.
Advanced gaming is regulated by the Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board. Betting is addictive and can be psychologically harmful, and it's only eligible to persons above 18 years of age.
Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet.
And in sports, we start with military games, where Uganda's representatives at the East and Central Africa Military Games are back in the country. Uganda battered all other countries at the games hosted by Kenya and contested by 5 countries.
Chief
of Defense Forces, General David Muhoozi, has appreciated the role sport plays in all spheres of society. He was welcoming Uganda's team that topped the East African Community Military Games in Kenya.
You did well overall, and it showed on the field. Lessons learned, we shall ensure to improve in the areas the Chief talked about. We shall strive to add support. We shall strive to identify talent in time, because there's a lot of talent in the UPDF, which we need to identify in time and train, and then the results will show on the field.
General Muhoozi rewarded all players individually and also offered a bull to roast for victory.
Cross country finally.
At all games, Uganda's military team won the netball and volleyball gold medal, added a silver medal in basketball and women cross-country, while the men's cross-country team won bronze.
Yeah, the sports, the way I look at sports in Uganda, there is a bright future for Ugandans. What I'm probably urging to the government of Uganda is to put much emphasis in the young talent to come and join different sports disciplines so that we can do better.
Notable among the success stories from the team were netball's Rachel Nanyonga and football's Joseph Iga.
And it was a teamwork, because the way they played when they were that side of Rwanda, when they came back, they decided to be together so that when we got to Nairobi, we performed well. Yet we did it, we performed well.
Uganda reduced Rwanda to second, Kenya third, Tanzania fourth, Burundi fifth, with Sudan that hosts the next edition finishing last. The military continues to engage in various sports and will in October venture into motocross at an event that will attract the best from all over the globe. For UBC, Helen Barbara, Gizamba.
Thank you, Helen. There. Now in Karamoja Games, all is set for the second edition of the 2019 Karamoja Games to be hosted at St. Daniel Komboni School in Kotido this Saturday. Teams from the 9 regional districts, including Amadat and Karenga, will take part in the 5 disciplines, including athletics, netball, football, volleyball, and woodball, as we hear in this report.
This year, 2019, as Karamoja Games, we are grateful that now people of this country believe in us. Last year, we only had scholarship of 20 boxes of water from Nile breweries. And nevertheless, because the Karamojans have the passion for sport, people came in big numbers. Athletes came from all over the districts of Karamoja. They participated. So now this year, I am grateful that we are getting scholarship. National Council of Sport gave us 14 balls. This will cater for all the games, because we have netball, volleyball, we have football. So these balls are enough for all the 9 districts to participate in these games. And we also thank Airtel Uganda for the partnership. They gave us 5 million shillings to boost the preparation for the event. And I also want to thank...
And on the international scene, Liverpool and Dutch defender Virgil van Dijk has broken the Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi dominance as best players after scooping the 2018-2019 UEFA Player of the Year award. The Liverpool talismanic defender who guided Liverpool to UEFA's glory was named during a ceremony at which draws for the 2019-2020 UEFA Champions League were made in Monaco. He also scooped the best defender gong, while Lionel Messi was named the best striker and Van Dijk's teammate Alisson Becker was named the best goalkeeper. In the 2019-2020 Champions League draw, Liverpool will start its title defense from Group E alongside Italian outfit Napoli, Australian side Salzburg, and Belgians club Genk. The group of death is without the doubt of F that the Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, Inter Milan and Slava Praha.
Well, yeah, it's been a long road, but it's part of my journey. It's part of who I am. I needed it like this. I'm not a player who was 18 years old and had that rise straight away. I had to work hard for every step of the way, and that's part of me, and I'm very happy about that. And yeah, well, I said, I'm very proud to get this trophy, and it's all credit to everyone that's helped me along the way.
And if I may ask, was there a particular inspiration or role model that you had when you were going through those tough steps throughout your career?
Well, I looked up as a young player to Ronaldinho.
Well, Virgil van Dijk there, taking it on.
Well, I'm actually very, very excited for him, and especially, breaking that which we have always been used to, Ronaldo, Messi. But Van Dijk, it's kudos to him, and of course he has really been a very, very good player for Liverpool. And of course that one also shows that Liverpool is not a simple team with such players in their ranks.
Well, that does bring us to the end of News Tonight at 10. Thank you so much for choosing UBC TV. But before we sign out, let's take a look at the recap of a headline.